Within the past 3 or 4 years for me, I've gradually grown very distant, slightly repulsed, slightly, maybe a little more than slightly repulsed, but just a little distant from social media. Basically, what I have is posting ennui. Like, I don't want to post on social media anymore. For me, social media was just Instagram. You know, I have a Facebook, but I never post on Facebook. The only pictures that you will ever see on Facebook, there was like a time when I used to cross post between Facebook and Instagram. What a stupid idea that was. I used to have a Twitter. I used to be kind of active on Twitter, actually, but then I stopped. You know the saga with Twitter. Now it's X, and I sure as hell I'm not going to be active on X. And to this day, despite my saying that I'm going to start like a TikTok account, just to see what's going on, or like actually more of a book talk account to, you know, promote my books, just in case you don't know who I am. You probably will not. My name is Teresa, and I write books. I write romantic comedy books. You know, the kind with like the illustrated covers. Have you read them? I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you my pen name. When I go on Instagram, I don't feel good. I don't feel like I'm connected to my friends or past acquaintances or former coworkers anymore. Like, I just feel kind of icky. I don't even know why I have an Instagram anymore, to be honest. Every week I kind of debate whether or not I should just delete Instagram. Maybe not the entire account, but just delete it off my phone until I want to post something. But here's the conundrum. I'm not trying to be an influencer on social media. I just want to sell some copies of my books. You know, it's just as simple as that. I write books, and I would like people to read them. I would like to find my like target audience, and you got to get the word out somehow. And I just want to be quietly successful with an indie publishing career, just quietly successful. You know, I just want to pay my bills. I want to pay my rent. My rent's really high, so I want to pay like a portion of like a quarter of my rent. That's all I want from out of social media. But other than that, I would feel no qualms about just deleting Instagram and obviously deleting Facebook. And I don't know why I still have it. I've been talking to some friends. I met up with some former coworkers. We were talking about how ever since the Instagram algorithm changed, we don't really see each other's posts anymore. It's not in chronological order. And sometimes if they do post something, I wouldn't see it till 3 days later, or I'll see it and then it'll disappear. And then I just don't have the energy to look up their account and then just go to their feed. They're not posting that much on social media anymore. We all have this kind of apathy toward posting now. It's like, whatever, you know, it used to be fun. It used to connect us. It used to be fun to like see what your friends are doing, or at its most innocent time, what they were having for breakfast, the basic things they were having for breakfast. I'm always interested in seeing what somebody's eating. Like, I consider myself just an average person on the internet, and I use social media mostly to keep track of my friends. But with the gradual change of the social media algorithm to prioritize engagement of like making content for people you don't even know, and the sudden flood of AI slop content, like a lot of branded content, a lot of ads and everything, I never see any of my friends post anymore. I feel like social media has kind of lost the plot of what it was meant to be, which is to keep in touch with your friends and family. But more so, and this is what it really is supposed to be, is to help you keep track of people that have gone in and out of your life, like maybe like the third tier friend that you never really see, high school classmates that you haven't talked to in 20 years, but you still kind of see their progress through adulthood, former coworkers of 7 years ago that you never really talked to, but you were friendly with, and now you want to see what they're doing in their life. It's like my former literary agent. She just had a baby. We used to be friendly, and I haven't talked to her in like 7 to 10 years. Or like my former critique partners and what they're doing with their lives and everything. So this is what I feel social media is for. It's for you to keep in touch in some way with people that you used to know, kind of low-key spy on, to help you keep tabs on people that you used to know that live some distance away, or you are just not close enough to be like, hey, let's grab a coffee. I just see what they're up to on social media, and now I don't anymore. And then it turns out that they don't really post anymore because they never see what anybody else is doing either. So we're all just posting less. And I'm developing a form of posting ennui where if I think about posting something, I think twice and I go, let's just keep that private. So I end up not posting at all. When I checked back at my Instagram, the last time I actually posted anything was October 2024. So it has been almost a year and I have not posted anything. During 2020 or so, while we were stuck inside, I used to post frequently on Instagram stories, just stories, because I like the nature of it. I like the fact that stories disappears. You have less pressure to post like a very beautiful photo, and I would post like stories almost every day. What I was eating, my sad pandemic meals, my writing progress, put it out into the ether. I get that dopamine rush whenever somebody likes it, and it's usually somebody that I know. I used to have a blog, and then like some of the readers of that blog followed me to Instagram, and then, I can't wait to share my new books with them. That's the feeling that I used to have. But now it's like everybody's gone. Everybody's become very self-conscious posting because number one, because of the algorithm change that prioritizes metrics. So obviously it's going to prioritize big accounts, influencer accounts, branded accounts, or even accounts that just pay for the post, like a sponsored post. You just don't see any photos from people you actually follow. So it makes me think, number one, I don't want to post anything anymore. Number two, I don't enjoy posting anything anymore. Number three, I don't see any pictures from people I follow. Everyone is just kind of deterred from posting because it's kind of like, why bother? The algorithm doesn't give a shit about you. You used to have 50 likes, 50 hearts or whatever, and now you are lucky if you get 7 or 1, maybe 0. Maybe you have 0 likes. So that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Teresa. When I was in first grade, I never really liked my name. And I used to tell people my name was Tiffany, which is a really weird thing to do because it's not even my middle name. But how do you know my name is really Teresa? So that's what we're going to talk about today. The enshittification of social media, how it has lost its original purpose, which is to bring you closer to your friends and family. And most importantly, let you keep tabs on people that you used to know, but now don't really keep in contact with anymore. I want to keep tabs on that coworker from 7 years ago. Why are you not assisting me in this? Instagram, Meta, whatever the fuck you call yourself now. Why I no longer post my breakfast anymore. And I dearly do like seeing what people eat for breakfast. That's just my thing, okay? Why my friends no longer post anything about their lives anymore. Why social media has made it kind of a hostile environment. It's not encouraging us posting our breakfast anymore. And how we have come to the point where I, who have loved Instagram in the past, now I want to delete my account. Look what you made me do. My name is Teresa. I used to go by Tiffany. Is your name Teresa? No, I go by Tiffany with an E. Like not Tiffany, it ends with Y, Tiffany with an E. What happens when we reach a point where people don't even post on social media anymore, and the only people who post are branded accounts or AI slop accounts or influencers, people trying to make it as influencers? What happens when all the content just becomes one giant commercial? If the average person doesn't post anymore and doesn't engage, then they have no reason to be on the platform anymore. And what happens when we reach a point where nobody posts anymore? What happens when we reach posting 0? This is how you know things are bad in the social media landscape. This is how you know it's kind of like mid to end stage enshittification. I'm actually seeing people, myself included, reminisce and have nostalgia for Instagram of 10 plus years ago. Instagram circa 2012, 2013, 14, early Instagram with a Valencia filter, and people were posting very amateurish pictures of their feet. I mean, no, that's a little crazy. Posting amateur photos of their breakfast or their lunch, their half-eaten sandwich, their dinner or something. I'm hungry right now. It has a certain authenticity to it because it has a certain amateurish charm that was real as real can be. online. You know, there's always some kind of interior filter that happens when you post something online. Very few of us actually post something that is 100% raw. Maybe the Facebook photo dump of like 2007 where you post like your entire family vacation. I don't ever do that. I feel like I've always been somewhat inhibited with everything that I've ever posted. I still have this one friend, she would just do an entire photo dump. She's a little older, so maybe she's of that generation that would just do an uninhibited photo dump of her summer vacation. That is like an instance where it just feels authentic, uninhibited, unencumbered. Like not all the photos are perfect. Nowadays, there are photo dumps, like people are still doing photo dumps. Usually the younger generation, not necessarily millennials, but more like I'm in the elder millennial section, and I don't think we really do that. I've worked with people of all ages, so younger millennials and Gen Z, and I have some cousins who are Gen Z, and they would do photo dumps of their vacation or like their lives. And even though these photos look casual, like you just casually snapped it, there's some curation going on. The purpose is not to look too overly like edited, like the core millennials would do. You have this very enviable charcuterie board or something. Lead me to adventure. The purpose is to look like you don't care about all that stuff, to care about your Instagram photos. Like it's cringe. There's the art behind the new photo dump that's different from a photo dump from the early 2000s. So in case you don't know what I'm talking about, let me educate you. The photo dumps of the early 2000s, millennials would put on Facebook. Mostly it was Facebook. Nobody did this on Instagram. You went clubbing and then you took your entire roll from your camera and then you just uploaded all of it. And it was an actual photo dump. I never did this because I've always been self-conscious. I was always a lurker and a voyeur. Sometimes I look through somebody's photos and I'm like, that's very invasive. That's everything. It's uninhibited, unfiltered look at your life, about how much fun you have. Look, I have friends. I have experiences. I have friends, right? But nowadays, the photo dumps that you see on Instagram, trying to replicate the casualness, the cavalier attitude of not caring, like the old photo dumps, it's like, oh, I'm just going to upload a bunch of photos from my phone. It's not perfectly manufactured and framed, because that now is cringe. You know, like the influencer photos, 2017, 2016, the perfectly polished photo is a little cringe because it's like you're trying too hard to appear perfect. That's not cool. Your effort, I can feel your effort, okay? I can feel the effort, and it's uncool. But if you have a photo dump, that means that you don't give a shit. They're taken like in the same way that you would in a digital camera. But there's something that's not as authentic about it. You know, nowadays, everybody who ever posts online is self-aware. Look at you. Are you Yeah, I'm self-aware. Like if I wasn't self-aware, why would I even bother to put on makeup as I film? If I wasn't self-aware, then I would just upload 4 hours of my raw footage, and you will see that I'm not actually that articulate. It's because I cut out all the awkward parts. So let me regroup, and I will continue later. I'm tired. Let me try this one more time. So I'm sure I'm not alone in this. And I don't know if, if it's just me. So let me know if it's just me. I don't know if it's just I don't know. What am I even talking about? And I used to tell people my name was Tiffany, which is a really weird thing to do. In case I feel like you're a little unhinged. We're hardened, cynical users of the internet, and everything you put out there is like part of your brand, even though you're not an influencer. The photo dump itself is very curated. Just because it looks casual, it's meant to mimic the old school way of just dumping your photo roll. It's curated. Which photo goes first? The lead photo. Which photo ends? What photo goes in between? What photo gives off the air of the cool, I don't give a shit feeling? You have to affect boredom because there's almost an unspoken language on the internet nowadays, the motto of the day is be not cringe. So in order not to be not cringe, you have to affect cynicism. You're this bored model. So you're Daria. You're too cool for school. That's what it is. You're too cool for school. You're not like this perky little cheerleader going rah, rah, rah and bothering everybody. This sounds incredibly overcomplicated, like more overcomplicated than it needs to be. There needs to be a crime board with red string. This is the photo dumps of 2007. These are the photo dumps now. How did we get here? And I know that there's going to be somebody that comes in. There's always somebody that comes in. You guys are too chronically online. Go touch grass. And you know, everybody agrees that it's good to shut off your phone and look away from your screen and go outside and touch grass. I touch grass plenty. But that's not what the topic is about. This is about the evolution of how we are perceived on social media now versus then. This could literally be a master's thesis. We are chronicling how people behaved circa 2007 versus now. You guys are so chronically online. Why don't you go out and touch grass? I see that phrase a lot. I find it very dismissive. I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere in everybody's comment section. Anybody who ever talks about anything that happens on the internet, go touch grass. It's like a dismissive way to say like this whole topic is so stupid. Go touch grass. If you have time to watch somebody's content about the internet and then comment, you are literally on your phone. You are not touching grass, okay? I trust that everybody here will not trouble themselves with the fact that talking about this means you're chronically online to the extent of missing the point, okay? Which is, I'll give you the point. The evolution of our online behaviors. Back then, 2007, 2008, let's go even further, 2004 through 2010 or something. We were in an era of enthusiasm and experimentation where you would think nothing of uploading your entire SD card of your birthday weekend in Vegas onto Facebook, or you would think nothing of snapping a photo of your basic breakfast into Instagram and slapping a filter on it. It was the era in which we were probably the most raw and unfiltered and authentic. As much as we can be online, there's still a little bit of filtering going on. There was a Valencia filter, and then that moved into the mid 2010s, and it slowly evolved into an era of manufactured perfection. And that's where you get all the influencer photos, like chef's table, food photography, exotic travel photos. Everybody's got like the concert hat and the Daniel Wellington watch and the ankle boots. It was also the era of the clean girl autumn, the manufactured perfection era. And then that led to a counter revolution. So now it's been 20 some years with social media. For everyone posting, it's not your first rodeo. We're hardened, we're cynical, we're self-aware. We are in this era of hyper self-awareness. And I think there's just been a lot of conversation about how the influencer 2016 manufactured perfection era was very cringe. And now you want to distance yourself away from that to seem more casual and authentic. But at the same time, people are very self-aware that they have to seem like this and not like that. So this is where I need my red string. There's a lot to think about. It's actually like a lot of thinking. The curation to seem casual while not really being casual. When you think about it, those who call out other people for being cringe, they would never put themselves out there because they would feel afraid of being judged. That's one of the reasons why nobody posts online anymore. You can never be as raw and authentic and enthusiastic and experimental as you once were in the early 2000s. We've been through the era of 2016 influencers, the era of manufactured perfection, of fronting. We've been through a lot of video essays talking about influencers pretending to be fake rich. It's like the giant fire festival decade. We want to distance ourselves away from it and appear raw and real and authentic like we did back in 2007. However, you can't be like that anymore. Some 20 years have passed. It's not your first rodeo. You're hyper aware. You're more cynical. You know that whole saying, like, I wish I could erase my favorite movie from my brain so I could see it for the first time. You've seen the movie. So now we're in this era of self-awareness. The algorithm has changed. It used to be chronological order. It used to be just those who follow you will look at your stuff. But now the algorithm has prioritized metrics. If you're not careful, what you post out there, it may have the potential of going viral, whether you want to go viral or not. Sometimes some people go viral for the wrong reasons, like they don't want to go viral. Sometimes like somebody would post just a random video on TikTok, next day they're viral and they didn't plan for that. I mean, a lot of you have told me one of your concerns is being filmed while you're out in public. Filmed for somebody's TikTok. There's some TikTokers going around just filming people without their knowledge, and then all of a sudden that person, the subject, becomes internet famous. They might become a meme. I've seen some people film elderly people eating alone at a restaurant or a diner. They would always overlay it with sad, tragic music. The caption is, "I saw this old man eating alone. So sad." Then the internet would just feel sorry for this old man. First of all, this old man doesn't know that he's being filmed. What if he's not even sad and lonely? You know, some people just enjoy eating alone. Some people prefer eating alone. When I was in college, I would eat with my dorm mates, but if nobody was available, I would just go out to the dining hall and eat alone because, you know, I'm not going to stop my schedule for anybody. And it doesn't mean that I'm sad or lonely. I'm actually pretty happy. So all of a sudden, this old man becomes the poster child for lonely old people when he just wants to pick up a sandwich. The fear of being filmed in public is a real thing. You guys have probably heard, it's like a big fluff piece about the CEO who brought his mistress, who happens to be his head of HR, to a Coldplay concert, and then they were caught on the Jumbotron by Chris Martin of all people.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
This is a perfect example of somebody being filmed in public and they become a meme, they're doxxed, they ruin their life, they're divorced, they're shamed. It's all because of Coldplay. First of all, this is exactly the kind of shit that I think goes down at a Coldplay concert. Everybody that wears a button down, if you wear some like Dockers and you happen to cheat on your wife, you would bring your mistress to a Coldplay concert. The moment I heard Clocks, I'm like, this is the perfect music to have an affair to. I wouldn't be surprised if he was not the only one cheating on his wife, bringing his mistress to a Coldplay concert. This adult contemporary music just draws these cheaters like flies to honey. Another weird thing, this third lady here, apparently she works with them. Like, what the hell is going on here? Like, he's having an affair at a Coldplay concert. So they also bring a coworker as like what, their chaperone? I don't know what's going on with this company. All I have to say is I wonder if they have any job openings. I could learn to like Coldplay. I wouldn't mind being paid well if the CEO and like head of HR were having an affair and they want me to chaperone them.
I was always a lurker and a voyeur.
Maybe not a Coldplay concert. I'm not like really into Coldplay, so I feel like the only concert I really want to go to, but I can't afford to go to, is a Bruce Springsteen concert. So if they want to like take their affair to a Bruce Springsteen concert, I'm all down for that. Let's get the boring point out of the way, which is being filmed in public is a real fear because it happened to these people. Even the CEO is not immune. You could be filmed at any time. You could be memed, doxxed. Your life is ruined. You know, that's a little depressing to think about. And there's some pretty funny AI generated videos about like an interview with that CEO.
By saying Chris Martin is a little rat and a snake, and Coldplay is the worst band in human history. He broke the bro code. They just couldn't let me clap some cheeks in peace.
He's accusing Chris Martin of blocking his ability to clap some cheeks. He just wants to clap some cheeks, whatever that means. And Chris Martin got in his way. Heck, I want to clap some cheeks too. And this is the most important part. This is important because it makes my photo dump segment make sense. Remember I was talking about you need to be cool, you need to be casual, you need to be cavalier, you need to be cool. Just be cool, okay? This is exactly what happened to these people when they appeared on the Jumbotron. Their reaction started a chain reaction, jumping apart from each other, dodging the camera, doing that oh shit face like they were not cool. If you were caught on camera doing something you shouldn't be doing, you've already taken it this far. You've taken it to Coldplay. You've involved a coworker in it. You've involved Chris Martin in it. So the least you can do is be cool. If they had continued mellowing out to the music, nobody will think that there was anything suspicious about it. They're just two concert goers, probably married and in love, and just enjoying their Coldplay. if his wife or her husband ever looks at this Coldplay concert on YouTube or something, what are the chances that they're going to watch an entire Coldplay concert online? It was a private matter that became a public matter because these two people had no chill. You're already in for a penny. You might as well just be in for a pound. These people have violated the be not cringe mantra. Makes me sick. So I feel like the main takeaway from this, if you're going to do something wrong, don't do it at a Coldplay concert because Chris Martin will f you up. I don't know if that's a good lesson. I never give you guys good lessons. That's why I don't have my own afternoon special. So the lesson here is that if you're going to have an affair, which I don't recommend that you do, you cheating mother, you might as well just do it with dignity. If you made it this far, then why don't you drop this vibrating heart down below? I don't know why I chose it. It reminds me of the hearts I used to get. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you've enjoyed me, then consider subscribing to my channel. I feel like you're a little unhinged.